No, it's a pleasure to meet you. Welcome to Pittsburgh. We're delighted to hear this wonderful news that you'll be our new concertmaster. Hooray!
Thank you very much. I'm very excited to be joining the Pittsburgh Symphony Orchestra and moving to Pittsburgh.
Now, how did it happen? I know you've been here on several occasions. You've played with the orchestra. We broadcast your concert with Raphael Frubeck de Burgos live. So how did this connection come together?
Well, I was contacted last summer if I was interested in trying out for the concertmaster position here in Pittsburgh, and that involved basically coming to play a few weeks as a guest concertmaster and an audition. And I was very interested from that first interaction and had a great time actually all three times I came here to play as guest. So I'm really thrilled that it worked out, and then I'll be coming to join the orchestra here. It's a great ensemble. Both I enjoyed musically working with the orchestra and with Manfred Honeck, and also personally I found it was a really warm group of people, and I felt welcomed even the first time I came here.
You're still a very young guy. How did you learn the orchestral repertoire?
I've played a lot of orchestral music growing up and done a bunch of guest concertmaster work in Europe the last few years, and I've also been very active as a chamber musician. I had until recently a string quartet in Germany, and I also play pretty actively as a soloist, a lot of solo recitals, and I've been playing actively in Europe for the last few years.
Tell me about the quartet in Germany.
I had for 2 years a quartet called the Atlos Quartet, and we started out actually studying in the Munich Conservatory. For me, it was a great experience to learn the quartet repertoire, learn to be a leader. I was the first violinist. And really grasp really some of the greatest music, classical music composed like Beethoven quartets or Haydn. So it was a lot of fun, and I think hopefully prepared me well for the job of being a concertmaster.
You've won a number of important prizes at competitions, including one recently in France.
The one in France was sort of funny, actually. I sort of decided on a whim to do this competition in Paris. I've been busy, obviously, playing other concerts, and it was actually a few days after I last played with the symphony in May. So I just happened to have the repertoire ready and have a pianist who I perform with often in Paris. So I thought, what the heck, I'll try the competition, and it went well. So.
And it went well.
Yeah, I won first prize there.
And the Queen Elizabeth of Belgium competition.
Yes, that's a competition I did in 2009. It's really the most challenging and biggest competition around for violin. It's been around since the 1930s, I believe, and has launched the careers of a number of the most famous violinists active today and previously. And it's really like the Olympics of the violin. It's longer and more demanding than any other competition. I was, in fact, in Brussels for 5 weeks for this competition. And they have a special part of it where if you make the finals, which I was lucky enough to do, after the semifinal round, once they've announced the finalists, they bring every single finalist, goes into seclusion at this Royal College of Music, the Queen Elizabeth College of Music, for a week. And you get a score that nobody's ever seen, a new modern violin concerto that you have a week to learn with no outside help.
The process of getting comfortable here, meeting the orchestra, getting to know the players a little bit, did you feel right away, this is something I might like to do?
I felt right away that it's a great ensemble that's really made up of individual artists who are all wonderful players, and that together it's a real strong group. So yeah, I had a good feeling from the beginning. The first program I played was with the music director, Manfred Honeck, at Thanksgiving weekend, and was actually a really fun program we did. The first half was all Strauss waltzes and I'm wrong. The first half was Dvorak cello concerto, and the second half was all Strauss and Lehar, sort of lighter Viennese music. But of course, with Manfred Honeck, he has a real feel for that and really brought something special to it. So it was a lot of fun.
And then the other two programs?
The other two programs, well, as you mentioned, I did a program with Raphael Frubeck de Burgos, which was really an honor. I'd never worked with him before, but had been familiar with his recordings from a young age, and he's a real old master, and it's a privilege to be able to work with someone like that. So that was nice, and Strauss Rosenkavalier suite was wonderful to play with him. And the last program I played was in May, again with Manfred Honeck, and we did Beethoven's Second Symphony, as well as a Mozart Piano Concerto and a premiere by Joan Tower.
We want to learn everything there is to know about you,
Yeah.
so tell us from the start. You were born in Asheville, North Carolina.
Yes, I was born in Asheville, North Carolina, and grew up there. It's a beautiful little city in the mountains in western North Carolina with a lot of nature. And I grew up actually sort of in the country, in the middle of the woods, so to say. So that's something I've always really appreciated and I find really important, is having a connection to nature and green space, and that's something that I like a lot. So I started playing violin at age about 4.5. I started with the Suzuki method and worked on with that method for a little while and grew out of it relatively quickly. And I also played from an early age klezmer and folk music, because my father is a dancer, a dance teacher, who he mostly focuses on Eastern European folk dance and Yiddish dance. And as I was growing up, I was around all that kind of music from a really early age. So that's been a big part of my musical life. But my great-grandfather, Samuel Leventhal, and actually I'm in some ways named after him because my middle name is Samuel. My great-grandfather on my mother's side was a violinist, a fine violinist who was for many years the concertmaster of the Hartford Symphony in Connecticut. But what I discovered recently was that he played in the Pittsburgh Symphony Orchestra from 1900 to 1904, and he came to Pittsburgh at age 20 after studying in Germany, after he graduated from the Leipzig Conservatory. So it's an amazing coincidence. I don't even know if it's a coincidence. I mean, maybe there's something more to it. But when I found that out, which was only after I got the offer to come join the orchestra, I was quite amazed. So it made me feel like it was definitely the right thing to do.
Preordained.
Yeah,
Great.
almost that he was looking down from somewhere and had some part in it.